Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. Today, let's talk about another aspect of test design, simplicity. In this series, we're talking about different aspects of test design, and while we're talking about them separately, we should remember that we need to look at them collectively and then decide based on the value and cost in which option to go with. Newsflash. Simple is better than complex. Everyone would agree. And yet we continue to design complex solutions, and in our case, complex test designs. Even when we're copying and pasting tests, we're committing a complexity-related crime. We've just complexified the test even more. Simple solutions are better. They're usually cheaper. They're cheaper to build, cheaper to maintain, and cheaper to debug. The cost is a function of effort and the code, but also of understanding. Simpler designs are easier to understand and therefore are easier to learn and teach. Think about building a React application and all the voodoo that goes behind it. All the dependencies that you need and their dependencies. Most people see the code and try to understand it. But there's a lot more to understand that is hidden behind the code. If it's hard to understand, it would be slower to learn and code, maintain and debug. It's the same with web automation tests. Any framework that you use operates a browser. You need to have the right version of the browser, and you need to download it before you run the tests and then run the tests. And then you're running a complex system, which can break on many things inside it. You see, simple solutions are predictable. Complex solutions are less predictable. Complexity breeds fragility. Complex designs contain more unknowns and more things that we need to control in order to get them in place. They need more understanding to operate them safely. When we don't have all those, we get expensive tests. I've talked more about predictability and fragility in this video here, so you might want to check it out. One more thing we can say about simpler solutions. They can be more easily repurposed or extended. It is simpler to reuse a piece of an infrastructure if it doesn't have all the baggage that we discussed, like hidden dependencies or knowledge. So everyone will agree that simple is cheaper than complex. And since we're talking about test design, we should pick simpler designs more than complex. Let's look at an example. In our bigger, better bookstore, we want to check the process of buying a book. We can do this either through the UI, screens, or through APIs. Which design is simpler? As we've already discussed, testing through the UI is already complex by itself. But it's not just operating the browser through an automation framework. Let's take a look at the structure of the application. Although this is a bigger, better bookstore, our architecture resembles one of the regular average bookstore. It has a UI layer, API layer, some kind of business logic, and a database. Okay, let's take a look at the path of the UI test. As you can see, it includes the following: the test framework, the browser, the UI layer, the APIs, the business layer, and the database, and then all the way back. Now, let's take a look at testing the same functionality, but through the APIs. Now, the test calls the APIs directly. We have a couple of things that make this design simpler, and one of them we already discussed, all the things that happen in the UI. Fewer moving testing parts. But that's not all. It's fewer moving parts on the application side. There are fewer things that can go wrong. This design is less fragile from the first one because both the code and the tests are simpler. So, what should we do? When comparing test design alternatives, we should always look for the simpler solution. Thinking about simpler design and the associated costs of the more complex ones in the future can save us time, grief, and a lot of debugging. So don't go over-complexifying things. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share this video, and watch other videos on this channel. And in the comments, tell me how you complexified yourself into a corner. And I allow you to use this word, especially to make things sound more complex. Until next time, bye-bye.